Time for a look at the Saturday evening games for the Simulated Baseball League. This is for February 8th. And now we have a full scoreboard and some games that are going to have huge implications. Start with the Dodgers and Red Sox. The Dodgers win at 12-4. That pushes them closer to clinching the National League West, a.k.a. the California Division. Meanwhile, the Red Sox are starting to see their lead evaporate after they had surged in front in that 6-team National League Central, a.k.a. the Northeast Corridor Division. Hershiser the win, 18-8. The loss to Ernie Shore, 11-11. The Dodgers get a home run from Odell, number 38. Campanella hit number 34. The Red Sox get home runs, or a home run, I should say, from Ted Williams, number 37. The Astros get a dramatic 10-inning victory over the Marlins in Houston, 7-6 the final. Now, coming into the day, Houston was tied with the Giants for the wild card. They trailed the Braves by 1/2 game in that Eastern Division, known as the Southeastern Division in this league, or the Sun Belt Division. And the Yankees and Orioles right there with them in that wild card race. So huge win all around for Houston. Billy Wagner the win, 4-6. Brian Harvey the loss, 1-9. Armando Benitez was charged with a blown save, his 5th for the Marlins in this game. For Houston, Ensberg hit number 29 and Bagwell hit number 48. The Marlins get home run 32 from Gary Sheffield. The Yankees will keep pace with Houston and get closer to Boston with a 4-3 win over the Nationals. Fritz Peterson the win, 16-10. Jordan Zimmerman the loss, 11-9. Rivera his 42nd save. The Nationals hit the only home runs. Andre Dawson hit both of them, numbers 30 and 31. Now the Braves will stay a half game in front of the Astros. They crushed the Mets 11-1. Art Neff 11-13 over Jerry Koosman, 12-15. Chipper Jones hit number 32 and Joe Torre number 16 for Atlanta. So the Braves maintain a half-game lead over Houston in the Sun Belt. Yankees stay a half game behind Houston in the wild card. Rangers and Phillies, we'll tell you about that in a minute. It doesn't affect the postseason. The Orioles beat the Athletics 3-2, so they will stay a half game in back of the Astros. Jim Palmer 15-9 over Eddie Plank, 16-11. Todd Froworth saved 9. No homers in that game. And then there were the Giants, who fell to San Diego 5-3. They now fall a game behind Houston and a half game behind Baltimore and the Yankees. 5-3. Padres win that at Petco. Andy Bennis 12-12 over Johnny Antonelli, 9-14. Trevor Hoffman saved 37. Home runs for San Diego, Terry Kennedy number 12 and Greg Vaughn number 33. For San Francisco, Kevin Mitchell hit number 33. And 2 games on the National League side of this geographic alignment that have no impact on the postseason. Mentioned the Rangers and the Phillies. Philadelphia wins that game by a score of 10-5. George McQuillan is the winner at 14-12. And the loss will be charged to Ferguson Jenkins, 13-13. Home runs for the Phillies, Ryan Howard a pair, numbers 47 and 48. Mike Schmidt, number 46. Darren Dalton hit number 12. For Texas, Josh Hamilton, a grand slam. 24 home runs for Hamilton. And the Angels and the Rays, the Angels win that by a score of 12-10. Bob Lee from the Angels back in the 60s is the winner, 2-1. And the loss, Matt Garza 5-15, Troy Percival saved 29. Home runs for the Angels, Salmon number 27, Gloss number 39, DeCinces number 16, Edmonds number 27, and Parrish number 25. For the Rays, Flaherty number 4, Crawford number 6, and B.J. Upton number 17, and that was a grand slam for Upton. 12-10 Angels over the Rays. Now in the American League side of the geographic alignment, we're going to start with the Cubs and the White Sox in that upper Midwest division that featured the Twins and the Brewers as well. The White Sox came in with a half-game lead on the Cubs, and the Cubs have won that game 7-4 over the White Sox. They now go into first place, a half game in front of the White Sox. Pete Alexander the win, 18-5. Doc White the loss, 16-6. Two pitchers from way back in the old days of these two franchises. And Bruce Sutter saved 29. There were no home runs at U.S. Cellular. Now the Twins can gain ground in the overall standings with a victory, and they got it 6-4 over Pittsburgh. So now they go from 2.5 behind the White Sox to 2 behind the Cubs. The White Sox now, the Twins are within a game and a half of. And Pittsburgh, that's a big loss for them. Minnesota beating them 6-4. Jim caught the win, 11-17. The loss to Nick Maddox, 8-15, and Joe Nathan picked up the save, and that's 40 for Nathan. He's the second closer to clear the 40 barrier. Rivera of the Yankees has 42. No homers in this game, 6-4 Minnesota. Now, elsewhere, the Reds and Toronto, a critical game because they're trying to all run down Cleveland. Toronto lost to Cincinnati 6-4. So they and Pittsburgh both gained ground on Toronto in the wild card race. That moves Pittsburgh to within 1 of Toronto, and Cincinnati now within 1.5 of Toronto for the wild card. In the 6-4 Cincinnati victory, Danny Jackson is the winner at 17-8. Roy Halladay the loss, 9-17. Chapman saved 33. And home runs for Cincinnati in their 6-4 victory. Votto number 27 and Kluszewski number 37. For the Blue Jays, Delgado hit number 35. Ernie Witt hit number 12. So Cincinnati beats Toronto 6-4. The Reds and Pirates are closing in. Cleveland will now stretch out their overall division lead over Toronto to 2.5 games, and the Indians are looking safer as a division winner. They beat up on Kansas City 10-2. And that also clinches at least a tie for the Cardinals in the AL Central, which is the Gateway division. And if the Cardinals win, they clinch the division outright. In the 10-2 Cleveland victory, Sabathia is the winner, 17-12, and the loss to David Cone, 11-13. Bobby Avila has been on a home run tear lately. He hit his 16th for Cleveland, and that was the only home run in this game. The Cardinals do not take advantage, so they will go into the Sunday morning simulations with 9 overall simulations to go with a tie clinched, and one more Cardinal win and Royal loss will clinch that division for St. Louis. Seattle beat the Cardinals here Saturday night by a score of 4-1. Iwakuma 10-11 over Wainwright, 13-8. And puts with save 29. Alex Rodriguez hit his 25th home run for Seattle. Detroit falls to Colorado 8-7. That just about eliminates Detroit from contention in that very scrambled American League East that Cleveland, Toronto, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati are also a part of. The Rockies 8-7 victory. The winning pitcher, Jeff Francis, now 11-17. The Detroit loss to Jim Bunning, who is 4-17. If Detroit had a different pitcher with a 500 mark right now in Bunning's place, they're right in the discussion for that division lead. That's how much it's going to cost them with his starts. The Rockies also get a save. Gabe White was saved 31. He's actually proven to be the best pitcher on the Rockies staff. Home runs for Colorado. Todd Helton, number 41. Troy Tulowitzki hit number 24. For the Tigers, Colavito hit number 33. One game on this side of the league that does not matter for playoffs. The Diamondbacks beat up on the Brewers 18-5. Corbin the win 8-15 over Sheets 9-17. Montero hit a pair for Arizona. Miguel Montero now has 14 on the season in the home run department. Jay Bell, Justin Upton each hit number 18 for Arizona. Let's give you the update on the standings as we now have 9 simulation sessions to go, 3 each day, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll start National League side of the geographic alignment. In that Sun Belt division, which is the National League East, the Braves are going to maintain a 1/2 game lead over the Astros. Atlanta is now 89-65. They have 8 games left to play with 9 sessions to go. 89-65 is Atlanta's record. Houston is a half game back in the loss column at 89-66. They have 7 games remaining on their schedule. The rest of the clubs obviously out of it. The Marlins trail by 20.5. The Rangers by 24.5. And the Rays at 47-107 trail by 42. National League Central. This is the 6 teams in the Northeastern Corridor. The Red Sox still in first place. They're now 90-65. They have 7 games to play out of the 9 available slots available. The Orioles are 89-66. They trail by 1. The Yankees are 88-66. They trail by 1.5. The Orioles have 7 games to go. The Yankees have 8. The Mets obviously have been eliminated. They're 10 back, and the Phillies trail by 15. The Nationals by 19. The National League West, that's the California division. The Dodgers have all but wrapped this up. They're 96-58. They have 8 games to play. The Giants trail by 8.5, so they're not officially eliminated. The Dodgers' magic number, actually they have clinched. So excuse me, the Dodgers have clinched. The Dodgers have 8 to play, and the Giants trail by 8.5. The Giants have only 7 games to play, so that race is over. Oakland is in third, 15.5 back, followed by the Padres, who trail by 23.5, and the Angels are 57-96. They trail by 38.5. Now the best division as far as competition and performance. The American League East. This is the 5 teams in the Eastern Great Lakes and Ohio River region. Cleveland is your leader. They're 88-66. They lead the 85-68 Blue Jays by 2.5, 2 in the loss column. Cincinnati's 84-70. They trail by 4. Pittsburgh's 83-70. They trail by 4.5, but only 4 in the loss column. Detroit, all but eliminated now, 77-76. They trail by 10.5. They are eliminated from the division race. The wild card may still be a possibility for them. We'll go over that in a minute. In the National League, or the American League Central, this is the gateway to the West Division. Cardinals are going to win this. They're 82-71. Their magic number is 1. Kansas City trails by 9, and they each have 9 games to play. The Royals are 73 and 80. The Mariners are going to finish in third. They trail by 14. The Diamondbacks are 18 and a half out. The Rockies are 20 back at 62 and 91. Finally, that Great American League West. I misspoke. I thought the Cubs had overtaken the White Sox. I'm wrong. The White Sox did lose, but they still lead. They're up a game and a half, not a half game. I'm wrong in that. So here's the updated standings then. The White Sox are 81 and 73. They have 8 to play. The Cubs have 9 to play. They are 80 and 73. A half game back, and that half game is in the win column. That's where you want it to be. The Twins are now 79 and 74, and they trail by a game and a half, and only a game in the loss column to the White Sox. So all 3 of those teams are very much in play. The Brewers have no chance. They're 57 and 76, and they trail by 23 and a half. Obviously, when you're down to 9, 10 games to go, or 8 or 9, I should say, you have no chance when you're trailing by 23. I've turned into Captain Obvious. Let's take a look at that great wild card race, and my, do we have a good one going on both sides now. Starting the National League in our geographic alignment, the Astros are the second place team in the Sun Belt Division. They're 89 and 66. And then as far as the teams in the Northeast Corridor Division, the Orioles are tied with the Astros at 89 and 66. The Yankees trail Houston by a half game at 88 and 66. So obviously that game they can make up is in the win column. That's where you want it to be. And then the Giants from the California Division also factor in here. They're 88 and 67. They trail by a game to Houston and Baltimore. And should the Red Sox get involved in this, keep in mind the Red Sox are only a game in front of all of those teams, which factors into the Eastern Division, or the Central Division race in the National League. The Central Division is home to the Northeast Corridor teams. On the American League side, all of the wild card drama is also going to be played out in the American League East. Cleveland now has a 2.5 game lead in the division, 2 in the loss column over Toronto. Cincinnati trails by 4. Pittsburgh trails by 4.5, but 4 in the loss column. Wild card race. Toronto now leads Cincinnati by a game and a half, but 2 in the loss column. Toronto's 85 and 68. Cincinnati is 84 and 70. Pittsburgh is 2 behind Toronto in the loss column. Detroit actually has now been eliminated from the wild card race with that game tonight. They have been eliminated from the wild card race. They're 9 back of Toronto. Actually, no. I'm not entirely correct here. Detroit is 77 and 76. They trail the Blue Jays by 8, and they each have 9 to play. So Detroit is not dead yet, but one more Toronto win and one more Detroit loss, and Detroit will be eliminated from the wild card race. Of course, Detroit's problem is that even if Toronto were to completely collapse, they've then got to hope that Cincinnati and Pittsburgh pretty much lose the rest of the way as well. I should also mention that the Cubs are now within, let's see, make sure I'm interpreting this correctly. The Cubs are within 7.5, so they're very much on the periphery of the wild card race. So essentially, the wild card race is going to be who doesn't win that division, and you've got a 3-team race going there. So Cleveland trying to hang on to win the division, and then you've got Toronto, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh in a heck of a wild card race over in that division. While in the other league, you have all sorts of craziness. You've got Atlanta and Houston battling for a division championship. You've got Boston, Baltimore, and the Yankees battling for a division championship. All those clubs in contention as well for one wild card spot, and the Giants are still very much in the thick of that wild card race as well. So you've got 6 teams, in essence, fighting for 3 spots, and for all but the Giants, there is still hope of either being a wild card or a division champion. The Giants' only hope is to get a wild card. The Dodgers have clinched that division. They are the first team, by the way, to wrap up a division championship. Well, that'll wrap everything up for Saturday night, February the 8th. We have 3 days, 9 sessions to go, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have a lot more later.